As this race number 2 for Motovation Supersport gets underway, this is how they qualified with Matthew Schultz on the pole position.
PJ Jacobsen and Tyler Scott there on the front row. Jacob Davis and Jake Lewis there in 6th place. Hobbs, Peterson, Corey Alexander, Josh Hayes, Ojawara, Torrin Collins on the other Altus Suzuki. Aiden Sneed, Dave Anthony, Max Van Enriquez, Owen Williams, and Jarrett Nassani. And then just a little bit further back, Omen Maggs and Luca Allen round out our grid. Heard Cam Peterson talk a little bit there, Gita, about getting a good start. And at this place,
we're rolling. Here we go. Oh, a good launch. Again, PJ Jacobsen. Not the best start from him, but it looks like Ty Scott got a good one as we bend it in to turn number 1 in the chicane. It's going to be the number 1 of Matthew Schultz from pole position. He's going to lead us.
Yeah, it looked like, again, PJ just, he's in 3rd, though. I mean, he didn't lose a ton of time. He's in 3rd. You see him there with Blake, and, man, I'm trying to see who that was. It just charged up. It's either Teague Hobbs or Hayes. I think it's Teague. Teague Hobbs done a really nice job here to put himself in the shop window in that top 5, up to 4th. That's going to be a bummer for Blake there. Kayla back in 6th. So she yesterday had to make some big passes early. As you see her looking down the inside of Blake, see if she can make that pass stick. Not quite, as Cam Peterson and Josh Hayes. That looked like Cam and Josh got together. Not positive on that, but that's what it looked like to me. As you see, Josh was hung up on that
foot peg. We go. Here's another look at it.
This angle here, you're just going to see kind of the aftermath. I saw it from the other camera angle, the one just before that.
Air and hand out. So she's trying to get that Ducati refired. And of course, that's just some frustration from Jakob, because she knows this is such a great track. And to leave here and really head off to
first, he's gone the fastest first split. How about Teague Hobbs? This is great stuff from the number 79. As you see him just ahead of our previous race winner at MotoAmerica, Blake Davis. For Teague Hobbs, I saw him this morning down into the 43s, and he's already done that again here. He's gone 43.8. If you remember yesterday,
was the best lap of the race. Now PJ at a 1:43.2. So you can see there that PJ was able to grab back a little over 1/10 of a second from the previous lap for Matthew Schultz. So the question now for the number 15 of PJ Jacobsen on that Ray Hall Ducati Moto with Expel.
You see the difference in lines there?
Yeah.
PJ can take a much tighter line, and he's got, even when we go over the top of the hill, the bike gets really light. Now watch here. Matthew's going to use up a little bit more racetrack than PJ. You can see PJ's tighter, can hold that arc. And it's, even though Matthew's opening up the radius of the turn in the middle of the turn, you can see that he's not exactly just yarding away.
Let's see. We got Teague Hobbs 79, Corey Alexander on the 23. Yota Ojiwara back there as well in 7th place, ahead of Jake Lewis, Torrin Collins, and Aiden Sneed. Matthew Schultz only 0.2 of a second off of his fastest lap, but JP looking at the split. Schultz just went personal best in sector number 1. PJ went best of the entire race, and Schultz just had to look back because you can tell he's trying to push the issue, but PJ's not going anywhere.
Ty Scott just dropping back ever so slightly. Blake Davis is there. Teague Hobbs still running a solid 5th spot. So Teague isn't completely out of this battle for the podium, as he just did the best lap of his race at a 43.8.
Yeah, and behind them was a Corey Alexander that we looked at, Jay, and for a moment Corey had gained a couple tenths of a second, but they were able to eke out another 4/10 on the 6th place rider, Alexander. So PJ all over the back of Matthew Schultz on that Strack Racing. That is the brand new for 2025 Yamaha YZF R9. The amount of development that went into it over the winter months, not to mention the fact the rules package that MotoAmerica was able to put together in this next generation racing, and shows you how competitive this Yamaha is out of the box. As now it looks like Matthew Schultz's teammate Blake Davis trying to make a move around Ty Scott. Ty's having none of it for the moment.
Man, and Teague Hobbs, look, he's right behind him. He's there in 5th. He just ran his fastest first split. He's just hoping that these two guys just mess around just a little bit. It looks like Blake's got a good run. Yeah, Ty's got a small problem, and you kind of would expect that to see him drop off the pace the way he is. And Blake slides down the inside of him there as they go down 13. So Blake Davis makes that spot there for the podium. Both of these guys riding. Where is the spot for PJ that something could possibly happen as far as the pass goes? So, right now, both these guys are so seasoned, kind of riding out the middle part of this race. Really, for PJ, unless he feels like he's got a ton of pace over Matthew, he knows that if he goes by him, he's going to get attacked back probably pretty immediately.
Yeah, maybe turn 11 is not the spot he wants to attack.
Yeah, last year we saw it go a little wrong there between these two.
Right here, yeah.
And but then again, maybe PJ will make a statement and say, you know what, I'm going to get back by him. Same kind of place, you know. So, but you know, these guys, they race each other hard. We've watched them race against each other a lot. And but for PJ, he's just kind of going to plan his move.
In turn number 13 they go, and Ty's got a problem.
So I think it's, something definitely weird. Like, I don't know if it's a brake thing or what it could be, but when you keep looking down to the right side, like
you can see, you get a really good look at this young Japanese rider who leads the Asia Talent Cup Championship undefeated, Jason, so far in the season in 4 races. And keep in mind, that Asia Talent Cup, there's some really big names in MotoGP that came through there.
Well, Jake started the season off. He had a ton of confidence after some strong results early on, but he said this weekend he's just feeling really frustrated. He's had 3 7th place finishes consecutively when you go back to MotoAmerica. And
Teague's about 3.5 seconds ahead of Corey Alexander at the moment.
Jamie, what about Teague Hobbs?
Well, it's not a fluke that he has this pace here in the race. I was speaking with his teammate, Josh Hayes, we saw go down early on in this race, and he really gave Teague a whole bunch of props. He said this weekend, Teague's just been better than me.
And here comes this battle between Collins, Ojiwara, and Ty Scott have caught him. So while Jamie was talking earlier, we saw that Collins was able to get around Ojiwara, but look how quickly Ty Scott, you know, that's one of those on-bike things. Maybe Ty has figured out what's going on. He's able to ride around it now, but all of a sudden he's trying to get himself the most points possible past these two riders, get himself into 6th place as Collins looks over his shoulder.
Yeah, Torrance just got to keep his head straight and go forward and keep hitting his marks ahead of him. He's got, you know, for this final lap, he's clawed back 10 points, big championship points as we head off to Monterey.
Down into turn number 1 up the hill we go. This is where the Ducati has started to show a lot of strength in terms of being able to hold tighter lines. PJ Jacobsen, we got lap traffic just up the head.
Yes, I saw that.
There'll be some blue flags out, so hopefully that won't be a factor in the race. But if PJ's got any chance, he's running out of corners to attack. So,
yeah, Shane Maggs, I believe that is. He gets out of the way nicely there, and you just see again the difference in lines. PJ's able to hold that bike pretty tight, but Matthew's putting in a great lap. Look at that first split, Greg. PJ just went fastest first split of the race by 2/10. Look at Matthew. He is trying so hard to just get away, and he's done a job here on PJ as far as they went through that first split, which is right before turn 6, and then Matthew just nailed turn 6 and pulled a big gap out. And you know, it'll be interesting to see what Matthew does as he comes out of this next right-hander. Sometimes you want to know how close somebody is. He'll probably move over to the left. And, yeah, he's on the left-hand side of the track. See that? Now he'll move back over to the right. But he doesn't realize how big of a lead he actually has as he has 3 turns to go.
Down the hill he goes, the number 1 plate. Trying to have the point deficit he had coming into this weekend. So with a couple of corners to go, Matthew Skults. It looks like he's done all the work to get it done, all the pressure from PJ Jacobsen. Onto the straightaway we go, and the checkered flag awaits, and Skults takes Motovation Supersport Race number 2 victory with PJ Jacobsen in second on the back of the fastest lap of the race. Matthew Skults, a 1:42.654, and the battle for the final step of the podium. And in the draft is Teague Hobbs. He's not going to be able to get it done, so Blake Davis holds on. And here comes that battle for 5th place, 6th place.
Ty Scott is, did he get by both of them? Looks like he may have got it. He did. Ty Scott went to work and got by both Torrin Collins and Ojiwara there to finish 6th.
Good effort from Blake Davis as well up there on the podium. Teammate to Matthew Skulls as well. And for Yamaha, double podiums there. PJ Jacobsen just in the middle of them. But for Blake, he was able to get that last lap and come through as well to get that 3rd spot.
Yeah, and these two here are going to swap wins throughout the year. Both these riders, every single track, they're both going to be fighting for wins. There's just such both the young talent, but for PJ going to a place where he won't get a double win last year, he's got to be feeling pretty confident going into there. And Matt's got to be thinking, well, I was right there. You know, I'm a little better this year, so I should be a little better there. And that's all I needed to get a win last year.
So you have Skults with that 0.6 of a second victory over PJ Jacobsen. Blake Davis holding off Teague Hobbs by a 1/10. Corey Alexander in 5th. Ty Scott able to really work out what was going on with his bike.